I'm gonna be made to feel like I'm not enough and there's something wrong with me. And you know what? Hi guys, and welcome back to part 2 of my bullied story. If you haven't checked out part 1, then you have to, because this one is not really gonna make sense because I am continuing, right? So I'm also gonna leave it on the cards above so that you guys can just quickly watch and catch up on that and come back and watch this one. Yeah, so a little recap of like part 1. So I spoke about how, like, what happened for me to have uneven nostrils, the fact that I was bullied because of that, and how like it has affected me, how like basically it made me feel throughout these years. And yeah, so now we are going to start from grade 8, right? First year of high school. For those of you that were watching part 1, remember I told you that that guy from grade 4 in the bus is gonna come back? Guess what? Turns out he's in the same high school as me. Hey, guys, you have no idea how I felt at that moment. He obviously didn't know me, but I did, because he made my life a living hell. So obviously he doesn't even have to look at me and remember me, right? Because he doesn't give a fuck about me. I also don't give a fuck about him, but he made my life a fucking living hell. Hey, I got home, told my mom that I wanted to change schools because this guy that bullied me in like that primary school, not this one, the other one, that bullied me in that primary school is in this school, and he's gonna do the same thing. Like, I'm not about to live my life like that again. My mom was like, no, that's not gonna happen. You're not gonna change schools because of that person, blah 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 blah. You know, parents will never make you into a coward. They're gonna always want you to like show who you are and be proud of who you are. But it was not like that for me. It felt like she was just punishing me, because why would she let me be in that school when I specifically told her that this guy was bullying me in like primary school? So I didn't understand. So okay, so 2 weeks go by, like it's still January, first year of high school in grade 8. We're in maths class. We actually like to be in maths class in these scenarios. We're in maths class, and this guy talks about me to another guy, and he is whispering and he is teasing me about my nose. Guys, being bullied for, I'm not gonna say how many years because I don't remember like from there, but being bullied from primary school, you learn the body language, you learn the eye contact, you learn when people like doing this, you know they're talking about you, my darling, you know. It's like you learn it's very uncomfortable, it's very toxic, because sometimes people can be talking about their own things, but you're so insecure that whenever you see them, something does not look it, son. But anyway, so he was talking and laughing, but this guy was doing that. Got up, he's a colored guy, got up. I gave him 2 slaps for each cheek, and then I told him, don't you dare talk about me. And I went back to my seat. What? Excuse me, ma'am, miss ma'am, hello? Remember guys, we are in grade 8. It's 2 weeks, we are still new. So this teacher called me, and then she called me outside with this boy, and then she asked what happened, why did I do that. And then I told her, I was like, he was teasing me about my nostrils. And then do you know that she didn't acknowledge what I said? Guys, I don't hate teachers, but should I be a teacher, I will do better. I know. Like, she didn't acknowledge what I was saying, or she said, don't be a rascal here. This is not the school that you're coming from. Bitch. Okay. But yeah. So moving on. Yeah. Nothing significant really happens. Probably does, but obviously I don't remember. And grade 9 happens, and same thing. Different guy. Did the same thing, got up, but we're in English class. Not in maths class. We're in English class, got up, did the same thing, gave him 2. Wow. Don't you dare talk about me. Remember, guys, now, bullying can make you turn into this vicious and vindictive and angry and wicked person because you've always had your guard on defense mode. It's like, whatever happens, because like, you don't want people to be like tripping all over you because you have felt how it felt to be tripped over. If that's even like English enough. That teacher didn't really like cause that much drama, and that teacher and I got along like very well. So even if she like did something, she's probably gonna do something that made sense, like not like that other one that was like, this is not the school that you're coming from. But yeah, so grade 10 comes, and that guy I think he failed a couple of grades. He recognized me. Remember, I knew that he was in that school, so I tried by all means, when I see him there, I dodge somewhere, dodge there. And like high school, guys, there are a lot of people in high school. You don't care about 99.9% of those people that are in that school. So for me, it was going smoothly because he didn't see me. And this guy was like failing, right? So I was catching up to him because I think it was in grade 12 or grade 11. And I was in grade 10. So we are changing periods this other day, and he spotted me, and he did exactly what his friend did. He introduced me to another bully so that I can be a victim again of ridicule. Okay, fine. So yeah, so I would basically kind of like avoid that section of the school. I'd make sure whenever I'm changing periods, even if I'm in this class and the road to go to probably my next class is this way, I would try, if I'm going that way, I'm looking down. I don't want to see anyone, or I don't want anyone to see me. Guys, like, take a moment and just think about like everything that I've just said, everything from part 1 and part 2, from everything that I said. Guys, that was my life. I might be telling it like it's a story, but that was my life. I could never really be the person that I knew I could, because I had this in the back of my mind that I'm going to be ridiculed, I'm going to be bullied, I'm going to be made to feel like I'm not enough and there's something wrong with me. And you know what? I hated the fact that I know that I was not born like this, It made me so angry that I was not born like this. Like, if I was born like this, I feel like I would have probably understood, but I was not born like this. This happened in order to save me, right? In order for me to be another kid in this world, in this universe. I have dreams, I have aspirations, but my life, like my childhood has been so traumatic. And the worst part is that I grew up in a very loving home. I grew up with my mom and my grandma, and unfortunately my grandma died in like 2012, and then from then on it has always been my mom and I. It still is. I don't have siblings. I would have had siblings, but there were like 2 miscarriages in the way. It's fine, but I feel like I don't know, I've been like thinking, I talk to myself a lot. So I was saying to myself that I feel like if I probably had like a sister or like a brother, maybe I was not gonna have to carry like this burden alone for like all these years. Oh, child. Okay, so yeah, so now we are in grade 11. Nothing really significant happens, but I think between grade 10 and grade 11 there were like two guys that like assaulted me, like physically, not any type of way. They did what I did to those other people. They gave me twins. I think it was in grade 10 the first time I got assaulted. It felt like that guy was still like holding like my face like this, and he was one of like the bullies in the school. He was even, you know what I hate about where I live? People, you would see someone in primary school, best believe you're gonna see them in high school. Why? But yeah, even that guy that like assaulted me, he was in primary school, right? He was in that primary school with me. He was a bully in the bus, but him and I never really, like cross paths. It just saw me, I saw him. That's how it was. Okay, let me give context to why he did that. I think I'm writing on like my book, or like in like English class, and like I'm writing down, I'm not in the mood, and he asks me, okay, so I was wearing like stockings. You see those like Woolies stockings that look like a pantyhose? I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. So I was wearing those stockings. So the stockings, like the day before, I sat on like I sat on like a desk. I sat on a chair that had like a nail poking, so it like ruined my stocking. So the following day when I wore those stockings, I swapped them. So the back was in the front, so the hole was like basically on my knee. So he was asking about that, and I was like, what's it to you? And he's like, I'm asking, like he's a bully. So for him, that kind of behavior is acceptable to society. He was like, I'm asking, and then he was like all up in my face, and then I pushed him like, no, what are you doing? Obviously personal space. Yo guys, probably did the worst thing ever. The guy was like, wow, and then he kept like doing this. Don't you dare. I feel bad for people that are gonna marry these guys. I really feel bad. But yeah, so that was that. And the second one is his bestie. The second one, there was an incident where I they say that I misplaced a phone, so I lost it, and like that guy stole it. It was like a whole situation where I had to pay for a phone, even though I didn't remember, but yeah, I didn't want any like bad vibes, so I was like, oh okay, it's fine. I told my mom was like, oh okay, no, they have to go half because yeah, it's much understandable like that. I don't know, parents, but yeah. So for that, I had to wake up every day at 4 a.m. and bake muffins in order to make money. So my mom took some of the muffins to work, and there were two girls that were living next door, but they're not now, and I used to pay them 50 rands a week to sell at their schools. At their school, because they were in the same school but not in the same grades. So that was working, and until I made that half to give. So this guy already has the agenda that I'm blaming him for the phone and all of that. So he already has this attitude towards me, and he cussed my mom. Obviously, you cuss my mom, I cuss your mom. Like, guys, am I wrong? You cuss my mom, I cuss your mom. What is wrong? Hey, you know when someone has, like when you've poked someone, like No, let me not say poke, because I didn't poke that motherfucker. Like, you know, when someone wants something, like a reason, like a good enough reason, that was basically like what he did. Did the same thing. Wawa went to the office. Listen to the scenario, guys. I went to the office. I told the deputy principal about the incident, and I asked him, can I please make a call to the police, because this is assault, and I can't be assaulted at school. Like, that is not a situation that I want to allow. My school was like, no, you can't do that. Like, I mean, like, Asamatle, you are in school. Like, what do you mean? You want to press charges? I'm like, sir, I want to press charges. So are you telling me that what he did was okay for me to not press charges? Like, make it make sense. He was like, oh, I know you, Asamatle. Take the phone. I called the police. Guess what? This lady was so unbothered, guys. Oh my goodness. I pray each and every day that my child one day gets born in a different world. This lady was like, okay, first she answered the call, very weird, like, tone, like it's like she doesn't want to pick up the call. I'm like, hi sissy, my name is Asemahle, I'm at like my school, and a guy in my class has assaulted me and I want to press charges. And then what? Press charges. Ufunda grade, man. Like, what grade are you in? You want to press charges? What grade are you in? I was like, I was in grade 11. And then she was like, no, we can't deal with things like that. You're supposed to, like, it's supposed to be a school matter. Like, we're not going to deal with things like that. So guys, okay, make me understand. If I am 17 years old, because I was 17 in grade 11. If I'm 17 years old and someone is abusing me, right? Okay, am I not supposed to report it? Just because I'm still in school, or it happened in school? Does it not have the same importance than someone that gets beaten, who is also 17, gets beaten or gets assaulted outside their house? Make it make sense, because for me it doesn't, Shem. And I could be wrong, I don't know, but that's how it went down. And that was grade 11. Grade 12, nothing really was, because I feel like our grade 12s were hard workers. So the people that were in grade 12s did not care about bullying. A majority of them were my friends, so they didn't care about bullying. Everyone was focused on getting this, this certificate and getting over and done with high school. So it was not really bad until, okay, there was an incident. I forgot this incident, but I don't remember if it was a grade 11 or grade 12. But there was this guy who was sitting on the benches with his friends, and we were passing with my friends, and he was like, Asemahle, you still have uneven nostrils even this year. Do you know what went on in my head? Hey you, does your breath still stink like shit even this year? That was basically what I was thinking to myself, that I wanted to say to him. But I'm not that type of person. I'm not gonna change because of what people are making me out to be, or how people are treating me, and then I change my values and all of that. Because I know how it feels to be teased. I know how it feels to be ridiculed. I know how it feels to be made so insecure that you feel less than or inadequate. So I would never want to do that to someone else. But I'm not gonna lie, in my head I was like, hey you, obviously I was calling out his name in my head. Hey you, does your breath still stink like shit this year too? Yeah. And funny enough, this guy, I still talk to this guy. I think I'm not gonna be judgy on like this guy. And ironically enough, he's kind of like friends with like my boyfriend. But I never told my boyfriend. I should tell my boyfriend that. I should tell him that guy did this. There's nothing wrong. I'm gonna tell him. I forgot to tell him because obviously these memories don't get in my head like this. Now I'm thinking about making money. I don't think about how those people made me feel, right? So yeah, so that was my trick. And so in college, there was not really like that much incident, because I think also like in college people mind their own business, you know, and if someone wants to ask, they ask and I tell them, and that's it. Like there's no, excuse me, there's no like, oh, you look weird. There's nothing like that. And yeah, so okay, yeah, so basically I think all of that sums up how like my story, like my bullying story. No, I'm lying. Okay, after I finished college and I was like, I think I was still studying at NMU, I'm not sure, but I'm walking to the, okay, no, so after matric, I'm like walking, I'm going to Spa with my best friend, and this guy passes by and he is like, hi asemahle, and then I'm like, hi, and then I turn back and he's like, yeah, it's been a long time, it's lovely to see you, and then I don't respond. And my best friend is like, hey, well, why don't you respond? That guy that bullied, like just like that, he was right there. I was like, that guy that bullied me in primary school, why should I? Had I known that I was greeting him, I was not going to respond. That is how petty I am. I feel actually I'm not even petty, guys. Those people made my life miserable. I don't owe them shit. I literally don't owe them anything. I don't even owe them a hi or a hello or like an acknowledgement. I owe them nothing. I was like telling my best friend, this guy, guys, I did not even know that this part can be held like this. That guy did that to me in grade 5. He held me, pinned me on the wall, and he squeezed this like this. Guys, I'm not lying. Like, I think that, okay, at first I thought strangulation was like, bleh. Hey, this guy was holding this. I don't know what this is. What is this? I'm gonna put it on the screen if I get the chance, but yeah. He held me like this. Guys, obviously at that time I didn't know how it felt to like lose breath or like feel like you're gonna die, but now that I can remember, I felt like I was gonna die. I couldn't breathe, and it was like, yo, guys, I can't explain it. Have you ever been kicked like in your stomach? And he also did that. Oh my goodness, guys, this guy had once kicked me in the stomach, but we're in the bus. That's why I forgot about that. But with this incident that I was telling my bestie, he held me like this, pinned me on the wall. So I was like, I'm not about to greet that guy. He can go fuck himself for all I care. Now he's a low life. And what I like is that majority of those people, okay, I don't know other people, but like majority of those people that made my life a living hell have literally amounted to nothing. And for me, that is like God answering my prayers for each and every day that I went to bed crying my eyes out, dreading that I had to go to school tomorrow. Yo, guys, the last but not least incident that kind of like spiked how like I think like this incident kind of made me realize that I'm not over what happened. I'm like I told you, grade 12, college, university, nothing happened. But when this incident happened, I was back bawling my eyes out. So I am going for an interview for a job, and then I was early, so like I wanted to get into the mall and like look around before I go to that interview. Fine. On the parking lot, Like in the parking lot, I see someone sitting down. I look at that person. That person is exactly that guy that teased me back in grade 7 in that bus. The one that kind of like made me go to my mom and ask for like surgery. You don't know how I felt, guys. I dodged him. Like, I looked like far away. I got into the mall. I got into the bathroom. I cried. That is when I realized that I'm not over this, and I might even need like professional help. But with my life, like, I don't really think I will have time for like therapy and stuff. And I like researched about online therapy, and yo, it's very expensive. Oh, BetterHelp, it's very expensive. And it's like, what other alternative can I get? Because I think I do need to like, actually I'm talking about it right now, so I'm gonna see how I feel in like a couple of months probably. But yeah, so I got home and I told my mom everything from grade, like I told you right now. That's how I took. Obviously I didn't tell her verbatim, but I told her basically how my life was, and she was so shocked that she was like, you never told me any of this. I was like, the minute you told me that we can't do surgery, I didn't see a point, you know. And when I told you that I wanted to change schools and you didn't like see a point, I realized that like, what's the point for me to tell you? And she was so hurt. She was like, yo, you really need help. Because I was like crying, like really crying. And she was like, you really need help. And then we went to the doctor, and I told the doctor, and she was like, oh, okay, I get what you mean. Apparently she like got into an accident and she doesn't have like 3 of her fingers, and she was like skin from her thigh had to be taken, like a skin graft surgery to like patch up her hand. And she says that she is not comfortable when she is like at the beach and like in like swimsuit. So she understands how I feel, and it's always like annoying when people ask, because I don't want to lie, now that I'm like grown up, I hate it when people ask like why my nostrils are uneven. It's like, now I have to explain. I think now I'll probably just send them to this video. I'm like, okay, please go check the video. I can't be talking a lot now, you know. Yeah, so I spoke to her that I want to like get it fixed. Is it fixed? I don't want to say fixed, but I want to get it reconstructed into how it was supposed to be had I not been born premature. And she gave me like a quote, and then she wanted to like, she called I think she was in the process of calling the plastic surgeon. But I was like, no, I don't have money right now, but I wanna know like what I'm getting myself into. And it's not something that's going to happen tomorrow. It's not something that's going to happen next month. It's not something that's going to happen next year. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it is going to happen. I am going to have a nose job or a reconstructive nose surgery, or yeah, I'm not going to say a rhinoplasty, because a rhinoplasty is to fix the septum, of which for me it's just I don't know what they're going to do, but I do watch a lot of like nose job videos, you know, so I'm kind of like aware of like the healing process and like how hard it is. But it's like, it's still in the works. And for those of you that are watching and thinking that I'm doing it for people, no, I'm not. Trust me, I have been thinking about people for the entirety of my childhood. Right now I am not thinking about people, I'm thinking about me. I have always had that. When I looked in the mirror, I'd be like, oh, you're pretty, but, you know, so I'd always say, you're pretty, but we just need to fix that nose, you know. It's always been something that I wanted, and I feel like, should I do it, my younger self is going to be so proud that taking the knife and putting it on top of her wrist and trying to slice it, turns out the knife does not cut through skin. Like that older version of me, I mean that younger version of me, is going to be proud that they did not find another alternative and unalive themselves because of how much pressure was put onto them by other kids. So I'm doing it for myself, or I will be doing it for myself. It's something that I will do, but I'll show you guys everything, especially now that I've spoken about it. I'll probably, like, let me not even say probably, I'll definitely show you guys. I'll probably have like vlogs about that. So it's, I am saying it again, we're not going to be doing tomorrow, next month, next year, or next, we don't know when it's gonna happen, but it is gonna happen. It is something that is gonna happen. But it's a matter of, like, it's me, this is me, and okay, let me put it, this is me, this is mine. This gap needs to be filled in order for me to do that surgery. So yeah, it was lovely speaking about this. I don't know, like, I thought I was gonna be crying the whole video, but it's like I feel empowered now. I feel like I'm kind of like making someone else that has gone through what I have and who has never really spoken about it. I'm probably making them feel like they should and they need to. And yeah, if you want me to be that bestie for you, honey, feel free to email me or leave a comment down below. And yeah, my last thoughts and also like the moral of like the story is like, be kind. I know I speak a lot about kindness like on my channel, but I mean that. Be loving and be appreciative of the people that you have around you and love them. Don't be a mean person. It does not serve you well, because who knows when we get up there and then you have to like, God shows you, hey, when you do not qualify to get into these doors. Be a nice person, project positive auras, just be a good person, man. It's very easy and it actually makes you happy as well. Trust me, I've been a nice person for my entire life. I know that being nice and receiving it, because one thing, like, being nice and having it reciprocated is very nice and it makes you feel good. So that is it for me today. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more amazing content, and we are pushing for 1K by the end of this year. So if you haven't, please do, because honey, your skin is gonna look ravishing. You are going to just be like a positive person. Like, everything is just gonna happen for you because you press that subscribe button and you joined the family, just like that. Like, I've witnessed that by pressing that subscribe button you actually get clear skin. Who knew? Like, who knew? But yeah, goodbye guys, have a lovely day.
On the road, no map, just all those stars. I never